Hello, I'm Karen Whitmire, and today I want to talk to you about the 5 things that non-monogamous relationships aren't going to fix for you. So one of the more frustrating myths that we run across as therapists is that non-monogamy is somehow going to fix something that's wrong in your relationship. And this is a bit similar to people thinking that having a baby will somehow solve a problem in their relationship, bring the relationship closer together. What usually ends up happening is that you end up with all the same problems, but now you've just invited more people to the party. In those cases, the more is definitely not the merrier. So here are some of the more common problems that people think that non-monogamy is going to solve for them. The most common problem that we see is desire discrepancy problems. When one partner wants sex more often than the other partner, major relationship issues often follow. This pattern ends up polarizing couples more often than not. On the surface, it seems logical that allowing one partner to go out and have sex with other people will take the pressure off the lower desire partner while satisfying the sexual needs of the higher desire partner. Unfortunately, it doesn't usually end up working out this way. First, it turns out that people aren't one-to-one replacements for each other. It's often not just about the number of times that you're getting laid, but the type of intimacy that is shared between two people. Second, the person with the lower desire level often ends up worrying that now they'll be left for someone who can satisfy their partner a lot better, especially when they see how much sex their partner is having with another person. And this just leaves the lower desire partner feeling even more inadequate. The only time this ends up working out is if the couple figures how to stay intimate with each other while understanding and addressing their insecurities. If the couple can find a way to communicate openly and share intimacy with each other in other ways, then opening up may actually alleviate some of the desire discrepancy issues. The second problem that we see often is chronic cheating. Does not get solved with this. At some point, many people decide that their cheating is an indicator that they are non-monogamous. And sometimes there is truth in that. But opening up your relationship does not automatically solve the problem of cheating. Often this problem develops because the person who is doing the cheating has difficulty speaking up and talking about what their desires are in the relationship, or they fear some confrontation in the speaking up. So they can't identify what they want, or they fear that they will end the relationship by talking about what they want. If you don't solve the underlying problem of being conflict avoidant or not being able to identify what your desires are, you are still going to have similar problems when you're non-monogamous, and you're just going to discover that you're cheating in entirely new and different ways. The third problem that people are often trying to solve with non-monogamy is their need for novelty and variety. Now, I have no problem with people wanting novelty and variety in their lives. It's really great for keeping your brain young, for learning new things, and for widening your experiences. It becomes a problem when you're novelty chasing to get a dopamine hit or get on the merry-go-round of validation seeking. Exiting a relationship as soon as the excitement wears off means that you are really just using people for your own enjoyment. Unless you've explicitly agreed to do this with each other, it makes you a crappy partner. Now, you need to check what you are looking for in your relationships and make sure it's not just that you're looking for some sort of validation that you're an attractive person, that you're fuckable, that you're dateable, that you're good at sex, or that you're worthy of some attractive person's attention. If your novelty seeking is really just about getting external sources of validation over and over and over again from different people, what you really need to be doing is looking at your concept of your self-worth in therapy. The fourth problem that non-monogamy often doesn't actually solve, especially in the beginning, is your boredom and your loneliness. So dating multiple people sounds like a great way to get out and meet new people and not ever be alone again. And it is possible that you will meet some great people and learn new things. However, people start to open up their relationship and they discover that they have to learn how to date all over again. And figuring out how to be with new people can actually exacerbate these problems. You might find that you have a lot of lonely or bored nights at home while your partner is out on dates, and you're waiting for conversations to turn into dates or matches to happen on the apps. Many couples will try to get around this problem by making agreements on only having dates on the same night. And this can get really frustrating if one partner is not having any luck on the dating apps, and that can just generate more tension in your relationship. If you end up relying on dating as a hobby and don't ever develop other hobbies that give you satisfaction, it's possible that you're back to the problem of relying on too much external validation as a source of building your self-worth. Now, I don't want to understate the importance of having friends and spending time with them or the problems of genuine loneliness. Developing friendships and support networks outside of your romantic relationship is incredibly important for humans. So be aware that there is a line between having a solid group of friends that provide support and using people as objects to validate yourself. The fifth problem that people are often trying to solve by opening up their relationships is somehow revitalizing their dying relationship. And I see this most in couples who are at what I call the middle period of their relationship. These are the 7 to 13 years range. And especially if you've had kids very early or didn't have kids at all, often you find yourself sort of stuck in this routine and you feel like you're just roommates with your partner. And even if you still really love them, you feel like maybe you've lost that spark. Your lives are very intertwined, and the thought of separating everything just sounds incredibly overwhelming. So instead of figuring out how to reignite the passion between the two of you, you decide you can just go reignite this passion with all new people. And sometimes this does work out really well if you have a solid relationship and you have all the components of a secure, functioning relationship. But if you're really living a parallel relationship and you've kind of kicked all of the problems under the rug and have just ignored them, you're really likely to just drift further apart when you start dating new people, and you'll find that all these cracks open up and widen. And now there's nothing wrong with splitting up. If your relationship really is dying, non-monogamy is going to show that to you. It's going to really make sure you see exactly where your relationship is dying. And at that point, you have two options. You can accept it and move on, or you can work on those spots and then maybe reignite your relationship. But it's not just going to be a magic fix to mend a relationship or add excitement to the relationship. So just because non-monogamy won't help you fix any of these problems doesn't mean that you should avoid becoming monogamous until you have all your problems fixed. Some of these problems might be invisible to you. You often can't fix relation problems unless you are in a relationship actively working on the problem. The overlying point that I want to make here is that you need to recognize that each of these things aren't magically just going to be cured by changing your relationship structure. You often have to continue to work on whatever the underlying problem is and fix the underlying problem, regardless of whether or not you're in a monogamous relationship or a non-monogamous relationship. Thank you for joining me today. I'll see you soon.